I really need like a workflow for this to
Yeah,
just press a button and be like, can you just turn all this stuff off,
I
please?
bet you could do it with an Alfred thing. You could probably just set it
Yeah,
up,
that's a good
say
point
like
actually. I
on
should.
on air. Just type in on air.
Yeah, I haven't looked too closely at the or looked too much into the Alfred workflows. I've got a couple for turning on and off my work VPN, and I've got like an emoji workflow
Nice, of course, of course.
because everybody needs an emoji workflow. So you're not John.
I'm not John. No,
Who are you?
I am David Darns.
And you kindly said you'd step in for John while
I did. I did.
he's he's reporting in well, I say he's reporting. He's taking photos of Moscone in San Francisco for WWDC. So you kindly stepped in
You
for
say
him.
kindly, but you really mean that I accepted the invitation with open arms.
Yeah, we can say that. I think it was night. You could have said no.
I could have said no. I just saw the message and I just went, yeah, I'll do it for sure.
Sounds like fun. So yeah, this is episode 22 of Ruminate, not with John as usual. So yeah, I suppose we'll get into it.
Should I explain who I am?
We should probably do that. Go on, tell people who you are.
Okay, I am a web designer and front-end developer, and I work at BaseKit doing the UI and UX of our product, which is a website builder.
Excellent. So what is it you're kind of doing day to day? Are you mostly just designs or
Well, I work with the UI designer, Dale Anthony there, and we kind of share a bit of the kind of testing stuff. I cover most of that. So I test our product with multiple users and test it for certain cases and come up with ideas with him. And I also do the prototyping for the UI. So what I can do is prototype it in a front end build, with HTML, CSS, and then give it to a user to test just if they can find like bits of the UI and see if they're kind of reacting positively to it.
cool? That sounds pretty interesting. Kind of almost completely the opposite of what I'm doing, where I'm doing a lot of server side stuff and things like that. So
It's kind of a both ends of the spectrum. But I kind of like to dabble in other bits. I'm not like a server person, but I do get interested in that because I like to know more. It's just if web development seems to be a keenness to be full stack without being full stack.
yeah, I think it's definitely advantageous to kind of know a little bit about everything. Even if like you say, you're focused on kind of what you're doing or what I'm doing. It's kind of good to be able to do all at least help out if nothing else on
Yeah.
other parts of it. So we haven't got any follow up from last episode. So
No follow up. No.
no follow up at all. So we can entirely jump that section.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, we kind of obviously you're saying what it is you do and stuff. What are you kind of excited about at the moment? Like new technologies and I don't know, frameworks or things like that. Is there anything that's kind of really interesting you at the moment?
Well, I've mentioned many times before, and I'm sure you'll agree on this. Some of it is I really like Jekyll, the gem that allows you to generate sites and generate HTML pages with the aid of Ruby, basically, and just you can kind of build stuff so quickly in it. I actually use it for my prototypes at work, so I prototype stuff in Jekyll, and then use it to build something very simple and very crude to test with. I really like it, and there's a lot more stuff coming out for it. In fact, today I saw another CMS that had just popped up that can hook into the generator and then produce a CMS for a client, much in the same way that WordPress is a CMS for a website.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those. I guess it was probably you who tweeted them. Yeah, I mean, like you say, Jekyll's kind of great for especially when you just kind of want to throw something together
Yeah.
pretty quickly. I mean, you were kind enough to help out on Guide to Bricklink, and that was, basically I kind of wrote out all the content in Markdown and then just chucked it into a Jekyll install,
Mm.
and it was up within kind of 10 minutes on GitHub Pages.
That was amazing. Did you actually use a pre-built template, or did you just knock that up?
No, I just kind of built it. I think I used Bootstrap,
Yeah.
just for the layout stuff and some of the little components, just because it's kind of easier than messing around with building it myself. Because I kind of just wanted to get it up,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just changed a few of the colors and stuff like that. But yeah, as you say, Jekyll is it's kind of nice to just be able to just write content, or as you say, like layouts or prototypes, and just kind of run it, and it's there and done.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like that stuff because it meets my requirements of having just that little bit more than an index.html and a style sheet to just play around with. I can do everything inside that and make something that, and in a lot of cases, my prototypes, some people think it's the real website editor and they start like dragging and dropping things and trying to build a website in it, and like, it's there's no server connected to that. You won't be able to publish that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's always a worry if you make your prototypes too good.
Yeah, yeah, but well, that's the case. The same with like kind of putting placeholder text. People go, well, why have you put Latin in here? I don't speak Latin. What is all these words? Because it's a prototype. It's not really words, is it? It's Lorem Ipsum. And unless your website is called Lorem Ipsum, then great.
Yeah, but I think you'd probably have a lot of more problems than I think the SEO problems. If your site was called that, would would be the biggest issue.
Yeah, I think you'll have a bit of competition in making your site number one for Lorem Ipsum.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, and you've spoken about this, I think the last couple of episodes on your podcast, Bit Podcast.
Oh, thanks for the plug. Dropped it.
There we go. Like that. That was professional right there. That was.
So I've ruined it now. I made it really unprofessional.
As soon as you point it out, that's it. You've ruined it. It's the end of it.
Sorry. Anyway, what were you saying?
So yeah, see, I mean, as I say, you've spoken about it. I think the last couple of episodes, just because you were playing around with React and kind of trying to get your head around what it is and how it works. And we've been kind of doing like small parts of the software that we work on in my job. We've kind of just been moving certain pages and stuff over to React, and it's so much nicer to kind of just keep everything in one place, like components, or even if it's not an individual component, but like a specific feature and things like that. And CSS modules for the styling has really made our lives easier as well.
I can imagine. I have to say I do work in that method, but the tools that I use don't really lend itself fully to it. And when Ben showed me it in a CodePen example, it was just like, oh, this is how I'm writing my code anyway. Can I just not like switch to doing it like this? And I may just do that. And he mentioned it as a thin layer to your front end build process. It's doing is just taking your components that you were building anyway and smashing them all together into one page.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with CSS modules, it's kind of nice. This may not be the best reason to use it, but for somebody like me, I don't write a huge amount of CSS, and when I do, it's maybe not the best. But at least with CSS modules, I know that I'm not going to affect anything else. In the rest of the app, I'm not going to end up overriding something or breaking some style because I just write stuff for that specific component.
Yeah, it's isolated. It's all isolated in one place.
Exactly, which is as I say, is a lot nicer. Especially for me because I don't write. My CSS isn't great.
I'm sure it's a lot better than some people. I was reading an article from his name is Murmurs on Twitter, and it was to do with CSS scalability, and he'd found a CSS line that just said float center. So I had to kind of He said in the article, it was like, I had to refer back to the spec in order to understand what someone was doing there and whether that is real. And it does because you sometimes kind of do that kind of fuzzy typing like you do when you're texting somebody and you kind of you rely on autocorrect and you're like, float. Yes. Yes, I would like to float.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's most of what CSS is. Certainly for me, it's just kind of let's just write some stuff and see if that fixes it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So as I say, I'm quite excited about React. Just because it's it's really nice to write, and I don't really have to write a lot of logic to worry about the data changing and things like that, because it kind of does all that automatically for you. So yeah, it's just been great the last couple of weeks when we've been writing some new stuff.
Cool. I'll look forward to seeing more of that in future, really.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, whether it's React or, another component based framework, I think that's definitely going to be the way to go for like, single page JavaScript apps and even bigger ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would agree.
So we're going to talk a bit about Lego because I don't really get to talk about it a lot.
Oh.
So, but you're into Lego as well. So, and you're here,
yeah.
and we should talk about Lego.
Yeah, I am very much into Lego, but of late I feel bad that I haven't kept up the momentum. If I lean back and look around the corner in my room, I can see a few Lego sets that are still inside the box and just have been neglected and not built. And I'm like, oh, they're on the list. I need to do them. I need to just put them together and sit them on the shelf. They're not custom like what you've done in the past. They're just like sets that I've been gifted.
Yeah, I've kind of got this. It sounds like the same as you. Like a few sets that haven't been opened because I just haven't got around to building it. And yeah, but it's I don't know about you, but I find it quite relaxing to just kind of stick a podcast on or some music, and I'll just sit there for 2 or 3 hours just doing some Lego.
Yeah.
So did you kind of get back into it when as an adult, or were you kind of always had it around? Because for me, I probably stopped with Lego, I guess maybe 11 or 12, something like that. And obviously you hit that age where you hate everything and nothing's cool. Like, oh no, I can't do Lego because people might think it's weird or whatever. I was quite lucky that I didn't actually get rid of it. My parents kept it in the loft, so I could grab it back a few years ago.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, my story's kind of opposite. I was introduced to it at a very young age. I got given just some white and red bricks from my uncle, and that he had when he played with Lego. And that was like my first few pieces, and then I kept getting given sets at Christmas and birthdays. It was pretty much the only thing I asked for. I always asked for Lego, and I can remember pretty much every Christmas, like up until like the age of 14, getting Lego sets and then immediately building them in about 20 minutes flat. Like, people go, how is he doing that so quickly? And like, because I am so focused on getting the end result. I'm looking at the box and I'm like, I want that thing on the box, and I'm going to make it more precise than the box. Like, I'm putting the little like rod nuts on the same way round and in the same position, and it was quite a kind of, I want to say OCD, but it's not really kind of that. It's just a kind of obsession when I'm so focused on doing it. And I didn't really grow out of it. Like, even in secondary school and then even in college and stuff, I was drawing like odd ideas for Lego sets. I still do. I have an obsession with mechs and just like big like robot driving machines and stuff, and I just drew them on note bits of paper in lesson, and everyone else is looking over my shoulder like, is he all right? Is he and like, I'm in the back corner like, I'm the uncool guy, but at least I know I'm the uncool guy. And so yeah, I just kept drawing them, and building them when I get home and thinking of ways to do them, and looking at Brickshelf and looking at that all night. And yeah, I just never grew out of it really. It just became less of an importance because my career path kind of made me turn into design and going into that realm. It was my kind of dream job to be, was it a Lego master builder as they call it, or designing for the Lego company. But that's not happened yet. It's not happened yet. It might do.
Yeah, there was. Did you watch there was a documentary a while ago?
I
I
did.
think it was on
Yeah.
at Christmas or something, and the guy Justin something, I can't remember his last name, who he became a designer.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a kind of lengthy process to get through and actually get the job.
Goodness me. Yeah. It was quite grueling. I felt bad for the guy because if he'd been held up and like gone, 5 interviews later, it's like, oh, I could get the job, and then they call you up and go, nah, you put that yellow brick on the wrong way around, and I'm afraid it's a no.
Yeah, it was crazy watching it. Like when they kind of just dump all the bricks in front of them, and they're like, right, you've got an hour to come up with a new theme or a new set or something like that. I mean, that's got to be pretty intense. Especially if it's your dream job and you're trying to get it.
Yeah, I hated tests at school, and that would have been my downfall. I would have been like, can you just come back to me in a month, and I'll send you some photos of this great idea, and maybe a Git repo on how to do it.
Yeah, there was an interesting interview that I'll put in the show notes with that guy Justin who got the job in that documentary, because he's done, I think, 4 sets now. He did one of the Comic-Con exclusive sets, and he's done the new Spider-Man Bridge set. So yeah, it's quite an interesting interview with him, about the kind of process that it takes from him being given an idea to actually going into a set, which is, it's months and months of work.
That sounds really cool. I'd like to check that out. What was I going to say? I was going to mention about. Oh, I don't know about you. I'll ask you this question. What do you think about the secrecy that they had, like the company has to their products, and hiding it from the public? What do you think of that?
In terms of kind of what, like leaked images and things like that,
Or how do you feel as a consumer to Lego that they keep stuff a secret until launch, or they don't show very much? It's all very closed doors.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't mind too much. I mean, as I'm a fan of Apple, and they kind of work in a very similar way. I think the two companies are quite similar in a lot of ways, but I don't mind it. But I think they tend to be quite, they can be quite aggressive when there are kind of images that get leaked like a day before their official announcement, and they will. They tell the fan sites to take the images down, even though everyone's already seen them. And it's, I mean, they can get, like I say, they can get a bit aggressive with the kind of secrecy. I think in terms of, being a consumer, I guess I don't care too much, because I kind of know that they generally announce at least a couple of weeks or something before stuff comes out.
I'm glad you made the comparison to Apple, because it was so similar. In the documentary, it was so kind of apparent. I thought they were like kind of making that sly comparison without saying so, that this company is almost like Apple in this level of secrecy. And yeah, it is a bit kind of aggressive that they don't allow people to show stuff a little bit early, and don't allow to say stuff early, or certain things. But I do like the big launch, especially from Apple products. Like when you get to see it on the day, it's just such a blow to the mind. Like, whoa! And forgive me for being such a Apple fanboy, but even when the iPhone first got announced, it was just kind of a mind blowing moment. You're like, what? They've been doing this all along? It's just so like amazing reveal moment. Like you want that reveal moment. Same with games these days. They just go, hey, look, Battlefield 1, we were doing this all along. We've been doing it for months. You're like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny you say that when you compare that to what movies are like. where we'll get a trailer a year and a half before a film comes out, and then there's going to be like 5 trailers before that film comes out, and by like the 5th trailer, you've basically seen all of the film.
That's what happened to me with Deadpool. Like, there's so many trailers that I had to, after about 3 or 4 trailers, I was like, well, I'm obviously not going to watch any more of these now because I could piece together the film from it.
Yeah, I tend to, if I look at trailers now, if they're over about a minute or a minute and a half, I don't bother watching them anymore because, I mean, 2.5 minutes for a trailer is a pretty long trailer. And I don't know. I mean, I noticed this with X-Men Apocalypse. They did it, and Civil War, and Batman versus Superman, where they kind of reveal like who these like extra characters are going to be. So like for Apocalypse, they kind of showed Wolverine's hand at the end of a trailer, and obviously the Civil War Spider-Man thing. They did that, and I'm kind of just like, why wouldn't you just let people be surprised when they get there?
Yeah. Especially the Spider-Man one.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's such a huge... I mean, we kind of... it was known information that it was happening, but, I mean, it would have been so much nicer if they'd just left it and not said anything in the trailers, and then you go and see it and go, wow, this is great, but...
It would have caused that kind of goose pimple moment where you go, oh, the character that I really love, and they just appear out of nowhere in such a cool way. Especially the Spider-Man thing. It's like, oh, I wish they'd saved it. But I guess it would have been very, very hard for people not to just tell each other. It's kind of like the Star Wars big story plot twist stuff. It's like, people have real trouble not telling each other about it.
Yeah, I guess I can see that, and I suppose if it's in the trailer, then at least I suppose Marvel have done the spoiling rather than anybody else.
Yeah. But I would agree. I like that big reveal moment. At the same time, we'll go wind back to the original thing about Lego. Is they should have a bit of a relaxation towards the community, because it's a very strong community, and they shouldn't squander it or offend them so much, because it's helping them share the love for it without sounding like a hippie.
Yeah, definitely. There was an instance in January with the London Toy Fair, which is it's not a public fair. This is for retailers and things like that. And Lego had invited along Brickset and a few other Lego fan sites, and they were like, there's no photos, but you're welcome to write up some descriptions of these sets. And Brickset could, they do a pretty good job. They'd written up some really nice descriptions of the sets, explaining what they're going to be like and things like that. And Lego forced them to take it down because their descriptions were too good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no photos. They didn't break any of the rules. But the problem is, Lego will say to Brickset or any of these sites, if you don't do this, we're going to take you out of the Lego Ambassador network, and you're not going to get, sets to review and press releases and things like that. So, they're kind of shackled a little bit, and that they just kind of have to do it if Lego asks them.
That's quite a kind of ultimatum for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to ask people to take down just text just seems crazy to me.
Yeah. But I guess they've got some kind of method that they've stuck to, and it's worked over the years. I mean, it's not like they've done a bad job in the last 60 years.
Yes, I mean, let's be fair. They're the biggest toy company in the world. I don't think they care what we think. Not really. If we can sit here and go, oh, it seems a bit aggressive. In the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world to them.
No.
So, but I wanted to. This was something that you've covered twice now on your podcast as well. But I think I wanted to mention it here as well.
Oh no.
Well, to be fair, me and John spoke about it last week as well. But Uncharted 4 and the PS4 in general, which I've just got. I got it specifically to play Uncharted 4.
That's quite a statement to have bought a console for one game.
Yeah, I mean, I was planning on getting one eventually.
Oh, right, okay.
It's certainly in the back of my mind. I was like, I will get one eventually because I want to replay Uncharted 1 to 3. So I was, I've gone out and bought the remaster collection now.
Oh, you get 3 whole prequels to play.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I've finished Uncharted 4 now, so I can kind of go back and do those. But yeah, I mean, the PS4, because I've got an Xbox One as well, and the PS4 just feels much more, this is a games console. We've made a games console, whereas the Xbox kind of feels like this, it's kind of a multimedia machine that happens to play games. The dashboard on the Xbox is just a complete mess, and it's so slow and laggy and weird. PS4, it's not amazing, but it's a significant improvement over the Xbox One.
Oh wow, okay. Well, that's kind of, I don't know why I'm saying that's honest for you to say, like as if you're related to the Xbox One or something. It's just a box under your TV. But yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a funny clip that someone compiled together from the Xbox One announcement, and it's a compilation of how many times they say the word TV or the term TV, and it's tons. They just talk about TV way too much in the launch of it, and they did have a bit of an obsession with making it the master kind of point of all entertainment avenues and everything, and it's like, maybe they should have kept with doing one thing and one thing well, and PlayStation was kind of doing that, and I think once they'd seen the stuff about Xbox One, they went, all right, well, we've got an upper hand now. What we can do is focus everything on just playing games, and that's why they didn't have the locked DRM on discs, so you could give the disc to your friend and they could just put it into the console and start playing it, just like they did with the PS2 or a Mega Drive.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Sony, they saw everything that Xbox were doing wrong, and just made sure to just highlight the fact that they weren't doing any of those things. And, to the best of my knowledge, because, I don't think Microsoft have released any numbers for a while, but as best I can tell, PS4 is significantly outselling the Xbox One right now.
I think that's the case. The numbers are very rapid for the PlayStation 4. I would be interested to see how it compares in a few years' time compared to the PlayStation 2, which I personally absolutely love and still is plugged in under my TV and is like the biggest selling console of all time as far as I'm aware. It just sold for years on end, and I think they were still making games just as the PS4 was coming out. Like, it still had stuff for it.
FIFA 15 was the last game made for the PS2.
Oh wow! Okay.
They were still making the FIFA games for PS2 right up until FIFA 15, which was, I think it was 15. I'm pretty sure that was the last game that was made for the PS2.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like you, I've still got my PS2 hooked up under my TV as well. I mean, it's just such a great console. I guess there's a part of me, I wish new consoles were like that. I just want to turn it on and just load a game. I don't want to see anything else. Like, I'm quite happy for it to just load the game and that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's actually one of the other things. Like, I think you can still set up the PS4, so if you put the disc in, it just loads the game, and you don't see any, like, you'll see the UI for like 2 seconds, and then it goes straight into the thing. Are we allowed to talk about the stuff in Uncharted 4, like any of the stuff in there, or are we got to be spoiler free?
Let's try and be spoiler free, I think.
Oh yeah, that's fine. We should probably just talk about like the beauty of the game, like how good it looks.
Oh yeah, I mean that is it is Uncharted. It's it's a great story. Like, it's fun to play. It's interesting. There's no kind of boring parts to it, really. But yeah, the way it looks is incredible. I mean, it's good. It's one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. I don't think there's anything else out there that looks as good as this.
I just flat agree. I mean, you could have a gaming PC with all the kind of bells and whistles and that, but I've almost accepted the fact that Uncharted games just look good because I played 1 and I played 2, and they were great on the PS3. I just kind of accepted the fate that it was like, these games are going to look damn good, and I don't really need to tell anybody else that they do. It's just a kind of, it's a fact. It just seems a de facto that they're going to look great, and this was no different. This was no different. I just went, yep, that's what I expected it to look really good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I think it's consistently good throughout. Like, there isn't any sections where I go, oh, this looks really bad, but they rushed this, or and there's a lot of little touches. Like if you're holding a torch, if you're in a cave or something like that, if you point the torch at the person who's with you, like whether it's Elena or Sully or whoever, that they squint their eyes or they turn away. Like you get even like little details like that. They're not just staring directly into a torch. They will squint if they're talking to you.
That's great.
And little touches like that are just they just make it even more realistic.
We do. I think you do this because I see screenshots come up on Twitter that you've done of the game, and me and Jess, my girlfriend, are playing through it together, and sometimes we just stop and just like spin the camera around, and I'm going, this just looks amazing. And then as he's turning it around, you realise the objects in the background, like right in the background, are not an image that's been plastered on the back wall, like the Truman Show. It's real. It's there. It's an object, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how big, how much work, how far did someone have to go out to draw the elements in order to make it feel like you're just completely immersed in this world.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the screenshot. I think I know the screenshot specifically that you're referring to that I tweeted. I even, when I was scrolling through Twitter, I saw it, and for a minute I forgot that it was a screenshot. Like it just looked, on the kind of thumbnail, it was just completely indistinguishable from an actual photograph.
Yeah. Well, I said to you, are you on holiday?
Yeah, I wish.
It looked like, he looks like he's on holiday in a tropical jungle with Nathan Drake and
hunting for treasure.
Yeah, for some reason his camera has an ammo count in the corner.
Of course. But I wanted to ask you actually, because you just mentioned it. You say you and Jess are playing it together. This is a one-player game. In what way are you playing it together? I'm a bit lost by that.
Sorry, we're taking turns. We both played Uncharted like right from the beginning, and she's played more Uncharted than I have. If the Uncharted expert was either of us, it would be her, because she's played 3, and I didn't play 3, and that's not out of choice. That was out of my PlayStation 3's choice of just breaking, and it just went, no, you can't. No, you're not allowed to play those games anymore. I don't want to do anything anymore. So she's played all 3, and I've played the first 2, and we're taking turns of going through it, and one of us will just sit and watch, and we just kind of help each other in it. Do you think that's a bit weird?
You're playing one game, but you're kind of just, you'll do a little bit and then you'll switch. And oh, okay.
Would you not be able to do that yourself? I'm not. Oh, sorry. I'm not. That's not a question to test your relationship with your girlfriend.
That's fine.
What is it? What's the answer, Rob?
No, I wouldn't do that because I don't like sharing.
Like Joey with food.
It's
Joey
exactly
doesn't share
that.
Food.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could probably see me doing that if if my girlfriend was interested in doing that, but. No, I probably wouldn't want to do it because I kind of just want it all to myself.
Well, it's okay for us. I'm cool with it. When the game launched, I didn't suddenly scramble out of my chair or out of my bed and go and get it. We just grabbed it when we had the moment to, and we've just been playing it under our own steam. We still have a good portion of it to do. And it's nice and chilled. We just sit on the sofa and have a go, and then go right. Oh, switch to you, switch to me. Some of the dramatic scenes it's. I'm going to avoid spoilers. Don't worry, I'm not going
Okay.
to. Uh, the dramatic scenes, we get different perspectives. So I get the perspective. So if I'm playing, I get the perspective of, oh my god, I'm gonna die from something. I need to do this. I need to concentrate on what's going on, and I'm seeing in my peripheral vision because, for all intents and purposes, what I'm looking at directly is the only thing I'm looking at, and everything is peripheral. I'm going, this is amazing, but I don't want to die. And then Jess is just sitting back and going, this is amazing. This is cool. And she's just looking at it at like a far slower pace, and I'm just like sweating, intensely trying not to die. And she's like, "Oh wow, this looks really good. Do you not think so, Dave?" And I'm like pouring with sweat. And
Yeah.
it's the same the other way around. It's like, "Oh, this is amazing," and it's two different things. You get kind of a one half peril and one half spectacle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had that as well. I mean, I think it was when I played Red Dead Redemption, a few years back, and I was playing it. My girlfriend was there while I was playing. She was, reading a book or whatever she was doing, and then I noticed every time there was a cutscene, to progress the story, she was stopping what she was doing to watch the cutscene because she's kind of like getting engrossed in the story, although she doesn't want to play the game. She's kind of going, oh, what's happening now? Or she'd miss a bit. She's like, oh, what's happened? You've got to tell me. So,
yeah.
I mean, the stories are, really good now in a lot of these games. So it's kind of understandable because they're basically movies at this point.
Yeah, they are. And I haven't played Red Dead, but you told me to. And
I did, and I'm going to tell you again, you should play it.
Oh, um, I'll ask you a question, but I think I know the answer. Is the motion capture as good as it is in like GTA and stuff? Because I know that it's really good in there. The human gestures in it, even though, like, even in the older GTA's, the graphics are really poor, but the motion capture is really fluid, and it makes you feel like you're watching a person act out these scenes, which obviously happened, but it's a game, and it just makes you feel a little bit more immersed in it. Is it like the same case in Red Dead Redemption?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, it's the comparison's always made. It's GTA but with horses. I mean, it basically is that. I mean, the story, the like you say, the motion capture, the graphics, everything. I mean, it is up to the standard of any other Rockstar, any of the GTA games. But you get this kind of the Wild West setting just gives you something completely different to play.
Oh, sounds really good. I'll have to get it on the list. Is it which console did you have it for?
I had it for 360. It's out on PS3 as well, but I don't. There's no remaster or anything as far as I'm aware.
Well, you say remaster. That's coincidental because today something popped up on the Rockstar Games website relating to Red Dead Redemption and the possibility of something being announced at E3. I might be reiterating to you because you probably retweeted it.
I think I tweeted it. This was they have a Red Dead Redemption page or a Red Dead page which has information on Red Dead Revolver, which was the PS2 game they did before Red Dead Redemption, and then it has Red Dead Redemption plus the zombie DLC that they did for it, and then there was an empty div element on the page, so it was pushing the page up, but there's no content in it. But I think maybe there was a comment in the source code or something that like don't reveal this or something like that. It's some kind of comment. I can imagine writing a comment like that myself, like don't push this to the site until next week or something. They've since got rid of it, of course, but I think that at least hints at whether it's a new game, or a remaster, because I know that it's coming to backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. So I don't know if that means we're not going to get a remaster, but yeah, I think there's definitely something coming.
I would have thought, well, whatever announcement it is, it can't be just a remaster. I would have thought that would be a bit weak to announce at an E3 event, and Rockstar, for all I know, don't have anything else to show at this year's E3 because they'll probably be spending a lot of time on the next GTA. So I would say that that's probably it.
Yeah, I mean, historically, Rockstar don't ever really announce anything at E3. I don't think they even attend officially. That they generally just do it through their own channels, through press releases and stuff like that. So we may not see anything next week, and it might be a little while after E3.
No, I didn't know that. I feel a bit stupid for not to. I guess I just see all the videos online, and because they all kind of collate together, I just scramble through YouTube and go, "Well, what's this? What was that was said yesterday?" And just
Sure. I mean, I sounded quite confident about that. It's only because I've read that today. Like I didn't. I wouldn't have known that off the top of my head. 12 hours ago. So.
Oh, the veil has been removed once again.
Exactly. So, I think we should probably wrap it up. We could probably end up talking for quite a few hours about games and everything like that. But and we should have, once we finish talking, there should be a little recording that John's done for us in San Francisco. So that will be, we'll pop that at the end of the show once we finish talking. So, but once again, thanks for stepping in. John says thanks as well.
Oh, thank you. It's been great. It's really good to chat with you.
And you, it's been fun. So maybe we'll have you back at some point if if John's away or I'm away. It'll be good.
Great. Don't snip that out of the podcast now.
I won't.
Okay, because that's in writing now. That's signed. I have to come back.
So show notes will be at ruminatepodcast.com/22. I'm on Twitter at RMLewisUK. And David, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter with David Darnes, my full name, DavidDarnes, and you can find my website at dar.n. Oh no, the domain's terrible. Oh, just go to daviddarnes.com. There you go. It's fine. Just Google me. It'll come up.
Okay. And again, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.